First of all, my name is Percy Turner. I work with ComCare's Crisis Stabilization Unit, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of an interview with you. Now, there's going to be a lot of questions here, so I'm going to need you to just bear with me, and we'll kind of work through this. First and foremost, can I have your name?
My name is Miranda Delaney.
Okay, Miranda. Now, there's a lot of stuff to cover here. So we're going to be kind of touching some different pieces from housing, employment, some of your past stuff. If there's anything that elicits some sort of feelings, or you want to stop, you want to ask questions, you want to pause, feel free to do that, okay?
Okay.
This is your interview, not mine. I'm just here to get the questions from the paper to your ears, okay?
Okay.
All right, so first and foremost, tell me about your housing situation.
Right now I'm living with my grandmother while I go to school. She says it's cheaper that way.
What do you think?
It's cheaper because my job I don't make enough money to live on my own.
Okay. Do you pay her rent?
No.
Okay. Putting on any bills whatsoever?
What was that?
Like any bills? Do you
no.
help? Okay.
Except for the phone bills, I help with that. And
Nice.
car payments.
And how long have you been doing that? Living with grandma, I mean.
Since I was like 17.
Okay. So there's no recent changes or anything like that?
No. There's my living situation before my grandmother's house was horrible, so I had to leave my mother's house to go live with her.
Okay. So it's just family that lives with you there? Is it just you and grandma, or is it?
It's my grandmother and my grandfather. Yes, that's about all.
So 3, including you?
3, yeah.
Nice.
And my boyfriend will come by sometimes and stay with me once in a while, but...
Does he stay like long term, like a couple weeks, or is it just like he'll hang out for a while?
Like he'll stay the night sometimes.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Do you have any concerns about your housing situation?
No.
Okay. Has your grandmother ever talked to you about future?
Yeah. She said once I am finished with school and I can be on my own, stand on my own feet, and then she said that she wants to help me find the best place for me where I can afford it and it's in a safe neighborhood, and she's trying to look out for my best interest.
Well, sounds like you have a pretty awesome grandma.
She really is, I love her.
Okay.
She's like my mother. She's pretty much been my mother since I was born. She's my legal guardian.
Okay, okay. We're getting into it. So have you lived in Kansas your whole life?
Yes.
What do you think about, I haven't. So what do you think about Wichita?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No, it's pretty much a small town to me. Like everybody knows everybody.
Right,
and
right.
There's so much drama, and the crime rate in Wichita is going up, I feel.
Okay.
And it's getting nasty, really. I mean, it used to never be the way it is now.
So, okay, now, I think that you're right, especially when you're talking about Wichita being a small town. It's a sprawling town, it's very spread out, but it seems like you see the same people everywhere you go. But saying that, Wichita is kind of a larger, I mean, especially for Kansas, Wichita's kind of a big deal.
It's a big city.
In big cities, you know, you're gonna have, there's a lot of different opportunities. I mean, imagine living somewhere like Newton and looking for a job, or, you know, moving to Hutch and looking for employment. Tell me about, I mean, Wichita at least has more opportunities in that regard. So are you currently employed right now?
I'm working at Ace Hardware.
Oh, sweet. Ace Hardware, huh?
Yep.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
Do you, have you gotten any of that knowledge kind of run off on you, or is it?
Like about Ace Hardware?
Yeah, I mean about, you know, just general maintenance.
I would say so.
I think that that's a perk of a job like that. I've always kind of envied people who just know how to fix stuff. I have no idea. I can't fix anything, ever.
You can fix a few things, but other than that,
Do
like
you-
plumbing, no.
Right, well, yeah, there's certain things that I just say call someone for. How long have you worked there at Ace?
3 years.
Wow. So, obviously no recent changes. Do you have insurance, your job offer you insurance?
No.
Part-time?
I have insurance through my grandmother.
Okay.
I'll have insurance till I'm like 26.
Yes, that's new, that just
I
happened.
like
dude.
that a lot.
Thanks, Obama.
Helps.
Okay, and you don't have any children at this point?
No,
Okay.
no children.
Do you have enough income to support yourself?
Not really. I mean, if I were to live on my own, no, but to
Okay.
take care of like the gas and food and things like that, yeah, I do alright.
Okay. And obviously grandma has enough money for basic necessities, food,
Yeah.
electricity, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking questions like that is there are various programs that would help you out if you weren't able to do that. So just to say, in the future, when you do move out on your own, God forbid something happens and you're unable to support yourself, please come back. We'll fill one of these out and we'll get you set up. Have you ever been in, let's change gears. Sorry about that. Have you ever been in a hospital for physical or any mental health issue?
Nope.
You are a lucky girl. Not even like a broken arm, nothing? Man.
Nope, I've never broke a bone.
Okay.
We're gonna knock on wood.
Yeah, because you're gonna walk out here tomorrow. And so, let's stay on the health for a minute. One of the biggest parts and one of the most important things about health is sleeping at night. Now, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and say that your eyes are kind of droopy this morning. So, tell me about your sleeping patterns. Are you sleeping okay? Have you noticed any change recently?
I have a horrible sleeping pattern. I really do.
Tell me about it.
I will stay up till maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, and then if I have to wake up early, I'll wake up early, and then I'll just be tired and I'll be okay. Or, I mean, on the weekends I'll stay up really late, like maybe 3, because I don't have work the next day, and trying to do all my homework and get everything caught up, and I feel like I have no time.
Now, there's a lot of stress that's
Yes.
associated with that.
Yes.
When you're staying up, what are you doing?
I'm either working on homework or just relaxing or just unwinding.
That actually leads right into my next questions. But first, have you noticed any recent changes in like your eating pattern, diet, anything like that?
I've started to eat better, like healthier food,
Okay.
more of the organic food and
Ah, well, that's good. That's a good investment.
yeah, my boyfriend and I decided that we shouldn't deal with fast food and all that, and we're trying to get healthy, and he's trying to help me get into shape again and lose like weight and become healthy.
I'd say if you're going to invest in something, your body is probably the best investment because, you know, I paid, for example, $11,000 in my car last year, 2 years ago, and it's crapping out right now. And so I really thought about investing. Like, I invested all this money in this. I invested all this money in college, investing all this money in, and I'm not investing time in my body. That's kind of a problem. So I applaud you. That's great. So saying that, things like your diet, things like working out, and you know, how are you handling some of that stress? You've kind of let me know that not sleeping is stressful.
Yeah.
And working at Ace Hardware for 3 years could be stressful.
And it is.
And being a student could be stressful. You finishing homework when you're not at work, when you're not in class. So what do you do to handle that? How do you handle stress in your life?
Well, here lately, my brothers and I will go on bike rides like around 9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. Tell me more.
We ride our bikes and then take them back home. And
And you're talking about smoking cigarettes?
No.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, just sitting there and just, like, I don't even have to really be doing anything, just sitting there listening to music or
Music's a
watching
big one.
movies and, or just talking with my boyfriend and, you know, like here lately we've been reading more of the Bible and like trying to live a better life.
That's good. I applaud that. Let me just remind you that what we're saying, everything that we're going through in here is completely confidential. This is, I mean, barring you telling me that you'd like to do some harm to yourself or another person specifically, everything we said is under lock and key. Okay? I'm bound by something called HIPAA. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't, we can take a little while after this is over and I can explain the process to you. But I just want you to know that you can tell me anything that you would like to tell me. And you can withhold anything that you'd like to withhold. Okay? But I really appreciate your honesty. A lot of what we do throughout our day is handling stress. We handle stress in a million different ways that we don't even think about. A lot of the things that you do when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed, a lot of the routines that you have is your way of handling stress. And so while a lot of these, the bike riding, the music, the movies, the reading, and even smoking is you actively thinking, I'm stressed and I need to handle it this way, there are certain things that you do when you're stressed out that you don't even think about. There's just involuntary reactions. And so as you're going through your time, think about that. Why am I doing this specific action? Why am I twiddling my thumbs? Why am I, you know, feeling uncomfortable right now? Why is my stomach hurting? All those things are ways to gauge how stressed you are. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I'm gonna name a couple others, and these are kind of the drinking, drug sort of things. Do you drink alcohol?
Not really, no. If I do, it's like every once in a great while.
Okay. So it's less than 1 to 3 times a week is what you're saying? Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
Not even that? Okay. Well, then I'm gonna go ahead and put down none. If you are drinking, are you beer, wine, liquor drinker?
Beer.
Okay. How much alcohol do you drink each time you have something to drink?
1 or 2.
Okay.
Unless it was my birthday, then that's a different story.
Oh, so special occasion.
Yes, I'll drink on special occasions. Other than that, I don't care for drinking.
Okay.
My mother was an alcoholic, so I saw her life, and I don't live like her.
Now you've alluded to a little bit of drug use.
Yeah, I just smoke weed.
Okay. Are you concerned about that?
Not really, no.
Tell
I
me.
don't let it take over me, or I don't do crazy stuff
Excuse me.
to get it, or
Right. So currently you're not concerned about your use. Are you interested in getting help?
not really, just because it's not like, oh man, I need this, or it's just every other night, every other while.
You feel like you could stop?
Yeah, I have before. It's not addictive.
Gotcha. Okay. So, moving on to the more mental health side of things, tell me about right now. Now, we're probably going to end up getting into history at some point in this, but I want to know how you're feeling, what your mood is right now, in this moment.
Well, right now I'm really stressed out, really. Just a lot of things are going on, and a lot of, like last night I had a breakdown because of my mom and her actions and how it's affecting the whole family, and my boyfriend and I have been having a lot of issues, I guess you would say. We've been together for 3 years.
Congratulations.
Now I've down a lot more than we normally do.
Okay.
And school, just I'm stressed out, feeling like I'm not gonna get everything done.
Right.
And work on top of that. It's getting harder to manage all of my time and to doing things I need to do.
Sounds really difficult.
It really is.
Now, when did you feel like that was changing? Because at some point, we all kind of try and strike up an equilibrium, right? You're a student, you're a girlfriend, you're a daughter, you're a worker, and all of those things kind of go round and round in your daily life.
Right.
So at what point did the balance shift?
When it started changing for the worse, I would say, not that long ago. I mean, like just now, I mean here lately, everything is just changing. Everything is just crashing together.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about that. You're giving me a few buzzwords, we'll call them, things like everything is changing, things are crashing together. That sounds to me like there's some specific things that are happening that are kind of helping you feel that way, making you feel stressed out.
Well, my mother, I have a 4-month-old, or 9-month-old sister,
Okay.
and she went to the hospital last November. She had a fractured skull
Oh,
and
goodness.
a detached retina,
Mm-hmm.
and bleeding from the brain, bruised inside the ears,
My goodness.
and they thought that she was gonna die, and they thought that my mom or the husband did it, so they took my 2-year-old sister away also, and then they stayed with my aunt, but my brothers could stay, which I thought that was kind of weird, because my brothers have their own dad, but he doesn't even know anything what's going on with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to live in the house, and the girls didn't. And then my mom got the custody back and all that. And then,
So
it's
just with all of that happening, and that's all fairly recent?
it's been going on since like right before Thanksgiving. And I mean, it's still pretty bad now. I mean, my mom still doesn't have her rights, but the girls can live there, and the baby is showing more signs of non-development. I mean, she's getting bigger, but she's supposed to be 9 months, but she can't roll over, crawl.
Oh, wow.
She can't see really at all that well, I don't think. And then all of that, and then my mom used to be an alcoholic. And then her needing help, like she has to go to rehab and counseling, and then we have to watch the girls, all the kids all the time.
Right.
So now that's pushed on to us.
That sounds like another role. You're half daughter, half mom, half babysitter.
It's always been that way. And even that's why I didn't go out of her house, is because whenever her and my stepdad, which is my brother's dad, divorced, she would go out and party all the time.
Gotcha.
Even during the week, and I couldn't do anything like go to prom
So
or do
it's-
any of that fun,
Yeah.
high school thing because of her. And then she got abusive towards me, verbal abusive. Never really had the father in my life except for my grandfather and my uncle. And then I was like 17, and I couldn't put up with it anymore, so I left. I just remember it was snowing, and I walked. Like I left the house and walked outside, and my aunt came and found me and picked me up.
Just walked and didn't stop walking.
Mm-hmm.
I know that feeling.
And then she wouldn't talk to me for like 2 years. And I didn't care.
Right.
Like I would beg her to come into my life and that I needed a mother.
just didn't.
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry to hear that. But as time has gone on, your relationship has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
And as you get older, and as your mother gets deeper into treatment, hopefully that'll continue to change, right?
No, she's making me buy her alcohol now.
Oh, goodness. Sounds like a really difficult situation. Have you talked to anybody about that?
Yeah, I talked to my aunt about it yesterday. And they said I should call the SRS on her. But if I do that, then the kids would get taken away, and then I would see my brothers or my sisters, or...
It sounds like you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place here. So what's the lesser of two evils, you know?
I don't know, like, if she asks me to do it again, I'm just gonna tell her no.
Right.
And that, you know, I don't wanna be the one to blame, because she gets rated EAs for it. And, you know, I just thought about telling her, I thought that you cared about your kids instead of yourself.
Mhm.
You know, for once, can you just not be selfish? Can you for once, you know, look outside of your little tiny box that you're in and see what you're doing and how it affects every single person in your family?
Right.
You know, you're making everyone pay for your bills, you're still drinking, you're hooked on your husband who would have done this to your child.
Mhm.
You know, who almost killed your baby, but you don't care. All you care about is yourself.
Take a breath.
Oh, that woman, she really drives me crazy.
I understand. It really sounds like there's some strong emotions there. And to be honest with you, that's something that needs to be discussed. That needs to be talked about.
It really does.
It needs
I've
to
never
be
had
talked
anyone talk to about it besides them.
You need to have someone that's there for you.
And then, like, I try to talk to my boyfriend about it. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, he's intelligent. He's like, you know, your mother is this, and this, and she's doing that, and it's not the same.
Right.
Talking to him and.
Have you ever thought about going over here to their session? You can get counseling.
All the teachers told me I should, but I don't have time for that. I mean, I really don't. With all this school and then having to be to work right after school and.
So what can you cut out? Because you talked about making an investment in yourself. And sometimes that means stopping some other things. If I gave you a child support bill for $1,000 a month, you'd have to figure out how to move your other finances around and cut out what wasn't important.
Yeah.
So what, think about that. Keep that in mind. Just take a breath and keep that in mind. But I do think that this is incredibly too important of a thing to just let stew.
I was ready for it to all be over. I mean, we still have May. And then plus it doesn't help that my mother, she's suicidal.
Mm.
I mean, ever since she divorced my stepdad, like everything.
It's been a roller coaster.
I went crazy. Like she's trying to kill herself. I've seen her try to do it in front of me and just having the blood all over my body, which was scarring and
Right.
I don't know.
Tell me about what do you do day to day to maintain it? You have all of these things in your mind and all these things going on. How do you just survive being you every day? Give me your daily routine. What are you doing?
I try to ignore the things that happen with my mom and all of that, so it doesn't bother me. And
have you seen anything change recently? Since like you said, things have kind of gotten worse recently. So look back into your day-to-day routine and think about when things started getting worse. Was there anything changing there? Maybe you're not sleeping as well. Maybe you're.
I don't sleep. I don't care as much.
Okay.
I really don't care as much. I don't care about. Like I can tell because my grades might be dropping a little bit. And, I care less and less about school and everything else and work. And I just don't want to go somewhere and just not be around everything.
No,
I just want a break. That's all I want.
From your mother, from your family,
From everything.
everything.
A break. Even the boyfriend, just go out of town for a while by myself. That's what I want.
Sounds like a weekend trip.
Yes, and that's what I'm doing in May, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, well, look at that! You're already solving your own problems. That's great.
I'm gonna go out to our farm in Waukene, Kansas.
Yeah. Just you?
My grandparents and my aunt and uncle are gonna go.
Good.
I love them.
I was gonna say they're positive influences.
They're positive, and my mom might be there, but I'm not dealing with her and her kids. I'm not gonna deal with her. I'm gonna put my brothers and sisters, of course, but it's just whenever any of us go out there, everybody acts completely different. Like, even my grandparents, everyone is really, really happy there.
It's good. It's good to have a safe place like that.
Yeah.
In
It's
that,
nice. I love it.
it sounds like there's a lot going on,
Oh,
and I'm
really?
glad that you're looking forward to that safe place. Tell me, and I need you to be honest. In the recent past, have you ever thought about hurting yourself or somebody else?
Honestly, no. I mean, I thought about just giving up and then just, I can't do this anymore. But then I was like, if I do that,
What does giving up look like?
just, well, I guess you can say that. I've felt maybe suicidal once, but then I looked at it as, my mother tried to do this.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. That's me giving up on everything that I've worked for, on, being the weak one in there. The main thing I always tell myself is I'm not going to be like her.
So you're able to redirect yourself, that's what we call that.
Yeah, and then plus, like, my boyfriend, I mean, he's really smart when it comes to, like, psychology type things and just talking about things like that. And he was like, he helped me with that.
Good.
I mean, he bluntly just said, why would you do that? That's a really dumb thing to do.
This is so perfect. You're feeding right into the next little bit, and that's support. We've gone through the storm, right? We've talked about all of these very, very intense things that are happening in your life, and would be very, very easy to see yourself as being alone in this and struggling by yourself. And I think that you've kind of used some of that terminology where, like, you want somebody to talk to, and you need some extra support in your life. What supports do you have? Do you have anybody you can talk to about your stress and worries?
My aunt and my grandmother and Jeremy, my boyfriend or whatever, and I don't really hang out with any friends or anything, because all they want to do is, let's go to the bar, let's go get drunk, and I'm just, I don't want to do that.
So do you belong to any social groups, neighborhood group, church, things,
Mhm.
activity groups in school, anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do you spend a lot of time together with your grandma and grandpa?
I do.
Like as a family?
Yeah, we do sometimes. Mainly it's just Jeremy and I, but like every Monday I'll go over to my aunt's house and like I'll visit with my grandma in the evening.
Okay.
And other than that, I'm always out either at school or work. And my
Right.
grandpa always goes to bed really early, so
I think that's just a grandpa thing.
it's crazy.
Okay.
He always makes me feel better though, my grandfather. Like they took me to Vegas for my 21st birthday.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Really?
Man, I'm 31 years old. I've never been to Vegas. I've lived out here for ever. No, I haven't. It's for the last 9 years. And we've never gotten anywhere close to Vegas.
I saw a side of him I'd never seen before. I mean, it was
You got to see them party it up a little bit, huh?
like the first time we got there, my grandfather was like, oh, we're I'll show you how it's done, and then we'll go to bed, and we'll do it all the next day, because we were there for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
So the first night, we were up till 6 o'clock in the morning, drinking and gambling, and...
Wow, that sounds like a blast.
It really was. See, that was fun. That made me feel better.
Good. And that was just time spent.
Yeah, just us three. No one else there.
Would you consider your things at home positive? That is at grandma's house?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have concerns about anybody in your immediate family? I mean, I know you have concerns about mom and your siblings.
My aunt. And just that whole situation, because if my mother loses the kids, she will be their mother.
Right.
She will have to adopt them, and she is already struggling as it is with having to watch the babies and make payments, because like my whole situation is crazy. Like my house,
Mhm.
my aunt lives across the street.
Okay.
My mother lives 7 houses down.
Oh, you guys are the king of the cul-de-sac,
I
man.
mean, and my mom just moved there into my aunt's old house, and my aunt moved into my great-grandparents' house.
Okay.
Because when they passed away, she and her family moved in there. And then, like, payments, my mother makes good money. I mean, she's a nurse, believe it or not. All these things going on, she's a nurse. And they just don't understand with the money situation, and my aunt is in debt because of her having to pay her bills for her, and my mother is like the root to everyone's problem.
It sounds like.
She really is. I mean, my aunt is the happiest person I've ever seen, and one day she was depressed, like she had to take some type of medicine. I mean, I don't believe in taking medicine whenever you're for like depression, things like that. Especially if you've never done it at all, and then for her to take it, she's like a zombie. She wasn't, that made it didn't seem like my aunt.
Right. Well, how do you, I mean, in terms of your home, do you feel safe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ever worry about yourself or someone else in your family being hurt in your home?
No.
No.
That's why the family owns guns now.
Jeez. So no one's gonna be hurt. They might be killed,
Yeah.
but no one's getting hurt. You're not slapping
Right.
me. Okay.
No, my family's just...
When there are conflicts or arguments between you and your boyfriend, or between you and family members, what happens?
I don't really have any conflicts with my family at all, except for my mother sometimes. I mean, everything is completely different than what it used to be whenever I was younger, whenever I was a teenager.
Right.
But things with the family is great. The boyfriend, and we'll yell at each other. And like a long time ago, he got aggressive, like not hit me, but just
Did he push you?
Yeah. And then I left after that, because I was like, I don't have time for this shit, so I left. And I mean, other than that, we just still have arguments. That's about it.
When you left, is there somewhere you can go to feel safe?
Yeah, I like to just drive around really. It calms me down, and just drive from one end of Wichita to the other.
See the same old people?
Oh yeah, in this lovely small town.
Have you ever felt out of control with your emotions and ever hurt anybody?
No. I mean, there's been times I've been out of control where I look back and I'm like, wow, I shouldn't act that way, but...
But that's more tantrum-esque rather than
Yeah.
fighting. Okay. Well, that's it. We went through this whole thing. And we have done just a little bit of everything. We've done some laughing, we've done some crying. But all of this information shows me a picture of you. It doesn't give me the whole thing, but it does give me a few major points. First, let's manage our time. Let's do it together. Let's figure it out. Because the clock seems to be one of your biggest enemies. Because you don't have time to go through your trauma, and that's an issue.
Like, is it bad that I just cover it up and I cover it up?
What do you think?
I feel like it's bad because then, like, the bottle will tip over and then I'm like an emotional wreck, you know, sad and like right now and yesterday and I don't know.
Do you think that there are some outlets that you can use or some services that you can use to help you manage your time and get some of this out? Well,
Maybe.
that's what I'm here for. That's my job. That's what I do. I'm here to link you with these services. So I'll tell you what. You have all of these roles. You're a student, you're a daughter, you're half a mom, you're a girlfriend, you're a babysitter, you're an Ace Hardware employee. I'll be a social worker. So you do your best to do your jobs, and I'll do my best to work for you. All right? Thanks for spending the time with me.
Thank you.